good, the bad, and the odd. It can only get better.
Welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd with your host, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
So we're into a Daisy now. The last one we did was Footloose, wasn't it, with Kevin Bacon and that. Now I've picked to chain one off of Laurie Singer. I had two real choices in my head in terms of who to chain from. It was either going to be John Lithgow or Laurie Singer, but I feel like we're going to hit John Lithgow again at some point, whereas I don't think we'll be hitting Laurie Singer again.
No.
Unlike all the men in her films, it seems. But yeah, so it's a film called Warlock from 1989. Main stars are Laurie Singer, Richard E. Grant, a very young Richard E. Grant, has to be said, and Julian Sands. What do you think of it?
This is a very weird film.
Did you like it, though?
It was fun, barring the weird homophobia around the start, but yeah.
Yeah, that's of its time, I guess. An interesting one, because it was written by David Twohy, who went on to write and direct the Riddick films.
Okay.
How about that? Yeah. He also wrote, get this, Waterworld was one of his. The Fugitive, G.I. Jane. I'm trying to find any others. There are others, but I've never really heard of them. Then the three Riddick films. All three. So that's interesting, right? And it was directed by Steve Miner, who directed Friday the 13th Part 2, Part 3, and actually one of the good Halloween sequels, H2O. That was a pretty good one. So we've seen the works of these guys before. So how about that? Now this came before
they've come up.
Yeah, this came before Twohy. The only thing David Twohy did before Warlock was Critters 2, the main course. I feel like we should do the Critters sometime. Anyway, so this was his second feature that got made that he wrote, and Steve Miner did a lot of his work before Friday the 13th Part 2 and 3 and House was one of his, came before this. And he did a lot of TV stuff too. So, I quite like this film. I like it because he plays, basically because Richard E. Grant plays it so straight.
Yeah, it's the Christopher Lee thing. I mean, you play the bad film as best you can.
Yeah.
Don't treat it like a joke, because at the end of the day, people are going to remember all your films. So.
Yeah, and Julian Sands isn't the greatest actor, but he was quite effective as the Warlock.
It was. He wasn't a great actor, but it was in character, if that makes sense.
He was quite unemotional and just an absolute nightmare to deal with.
Just kept fucking flying everywhere.
Yeah, and just doing mental things as well. And I just like the whole witch lore. They put loads of witch lore into this. And I don't know how much of it is real and how much they added for the film, but I feel like it had a sense of they've read up on witches and included it in the script somewhat. It wasn't it had mixed reviews, and a lot of people ended up comparing it to Terminator because structurally it's quite similar to Terminator.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to Terminator.
Yeah, there are two sequels, but none of them actually really connected with this film. They can be watched independently. Julian Sands did turn up in one of them as the same character, but it was kind of a prequel, I believe. So, and it had nothing to do with this film or the prequel in any way. So, how about that? So basically, it starts in Boston in 1691, doesn't it? Where a witch hunter, Redfern, has captured this warlock.
And he's like bound with his thumbs to his big toes.
Yeah. Some interesting.
Like, you'd think like all the weird stuff that came out in the Middle Ages. That's not something I think of. It will definitely stop you running away. Yeah.
But he manages to, and I like the old timey-wimey stuff, with the language and Redfern being super intense. What did he say about it? He said something like, "We will basically, you saw a guy putting a cat in a basket, and then they mentioned, they're going to burn him over a basket of live cats. That was one of the things they said, which is weird. And also, he said something like, "I do not want my locks back until his body is, got ash, and then we will dig it out of the ashes," and all this intense stuff, right? But the old Warlock manages to conjure up a time whirlwind, right? Evil dead stuff.
It kind of feels like Satan just kind of threw a time vortex at him.
Yeah. And he ends up, he crash lands in through a window of a house, doesn't he? And basically we see Laurie Singer's character, who's called Cassandra with a K, and her roommate, Chaz. They take him in, think he's just had a bad night. He's been on the booze or something. And it's very kindly just take him in, look after him, no problem that he's come flying through their window, right?
Yeah. Well, it's like, oh yeah, this is just like, where is it? Where is this set? It's like, oh yeah, this is Boston.
Yeah, and he also it's got that 80s, Cassandra, does she go out to work? She goes out. Yeah, she's a waitress.
She works as like a waitress in like a sort of greasy spoon diner or something.
Yeah, I have to say, Laurie Singer's wig in this was horrible.
Yeah, fucking what's it? Lulu Dallas multipass. Very.
I'll talk about it in a bit, but she does age a bit later and have much longer hair, which does look like her own hair dyed.
Yeah.
So I suspect she had loads of hair and they had to try and fit it all under this wig, which is why it looks so weird. That's all I can think of. It's like, why didn't she just get a haircut for the job? It's so weird. Maybe she was doing something else at the time and needed the long hair. I don't know. Or maybe she just likes long hair. But she looked really odd in it. This wig looked like a Lego wig. That's how it was.
Yeah, it was very Edna mode. So.
Yeah, and then so Chaz is left with the Warlock. It's interesting, this film. I noticed that if you look at Kaz, was it?
Yeah, Cassandra with a K.
No, Chaz was the bloke.
Oh yeah.
No. Chaz. Looking at the credits and so on, everyone in this, no one's got a name apart from Cassandra, Redfern, and Chaz. Even the Warlock's just called Warlock, right? And everyone else is called what they do. It's a really functional script in that sense.
Yeah.
But Chaz starts talking about, he's doing some cooking, chopping up stuff, and he starts talking about astrology, is it?
Yeah, he's sort of like passing interest in astrology.
Yeah.
Then the Warlock notices his ring, which has like a scorpion in it.
Yeah, and he likes it.
Oh yeah, because I'm a Scorpio, and it's like, I can't get it off though. My finger's like swollen.
Yeah.
So the Warlock just grabs a knife and chops his finger off.
Chops his finger off, and then as he's rolling around on the floor screaming, he just
pulls him into like a full tongue kiss. And then,
kiss, and we see something weird happen. We don't know. I thought he was like passing something into him, but no. Then the Warlock spits something in the pan, and it's a tongue. He's bitten his tongue off and spat it in a pan. As casual as you like. Yeah. And the next thing we know, we see the police investigating Cassandra. We want to know when the next psycho's going to bite someone's tongue out. And they say, is he gay?
They do say some weird stuff here.
Yeah, there is a weird line, isn't there? He's not queer, he's gay or something.
Yeah,
I don't quite understand.
He's gay, he's not a queer.
What does that mean? Because they're alluding to children. Maybe? I don't know. I could not work it out. Anyway, it was a very odd scene, but poorly written, and it's like, I don't know what's going on here. Meanwhile, the Warlock comes across a psychic who he goes and talks to, who is obviously faking. She says, I will conjure up so-and-so, and starts talking in the voice. And he goes, well, I'll just wait until so-and-so, that person turns up, right?
Yeah.
He gives her a name. What's a name? It's Satan, basically, but he gives her a different name, doesn't he?
It's simply not Satan, because he's like,
it's not Astaroth, but it's some...
No, it's some like higher demon. who basically is like instructs him to find a book.
Yeah.
Like they don't expand on that really. It's like, yeah, find the book. But okay.
Yeah, I quite like this bit. I quite liked her makeup. Her teeth went all pointy and her eyes went black, didn't she, while she was being possessed. Basically, he's got to put this book together, the Grand Grimoire, which is separated into 3 pages. There was lots of elements of this felt a bit Evil Dead. The book, the storm, special effects, that sort of stuff.
Time travel.
And
the CG special effects.
Oh man, the special effects were bad. Oh. They obviously were cheap and not well done. But also, apparently there was, because we'll get onto it, but the aging wasn't great. And apparently they did have a load of aging makeup sorted out, but Laurie Singer basically refused a lot of it. She said, "No, I'm not having that on my face." And it only left a bit, which wasn't great. Let's face it, wasn't great. Okay, but then, once he's done with the psychic, he pulls out her eyes and uses this pair of eyes in his hand to look in different directions, which is amazing. So goofy, right? So goofy. What do you think of that?
Yeah, this guy has a lot of creative, gruesome ways to attack people.
Yeah.
So we've had tongue pulled out, we've had a finger chopped off, and now eyes ripped out.
Later
on, he goes for eyes again.
He doesn't mind the eyes, does he? He doesn't mind the eyes. So he manages to find the first piece of the grimoire inside a table in their flat, which is very convenient. Presumably that's why he landed there. Satan specifically put him there.
I just assumed it was like a sort of same place thing.
Okay.
He walked into the future. And like it was that building.
Yeah. Also, he gets.
It's absolutely not that, because he walks from Boston, Massachusetts, to Los Angeles. So,
okay, maybe not.
Yeah, so it actively chucks him a piece of the book. So
yeah. Also, while he's there, he takes one of Cassandra's bracelet and puts an aging curse on her. And then Redfern turns up, and it's a very Terminator-y thing. Who is this weirdo? You know, it's all that kind of stuff. But Redfern's got this big metal thing. And he starts explaining, you know, they don't like salt.
Yeah, it looks like one of those, like a sextant almost.
Yeah, it's massive. It's massive. It's kind of a cross between a sextant and a weather vane. That's kind of how it looks, right? And this thing must be heavy. And old Redfern does not mind throwing this about, and he's pretty good with it too. And he's also got a knife, and he's got all these other stuff. He talks about salt. They can't. Salt.
It's like a whip that's like soaked in salt water.
Yeah. I was hoping we'd see quite a bit of the whip action, but he only uses it once or twice, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In the end. Also, he talks about, no witch can go on hallowed ground, and this, that, and the other. Yeah. So they figure out Cassandra's aging. She's aging 20 years a day.
Yeah, he comes back. The Warlock comes back to her house after she has this encounter with what's his name, Whitbane. Redfern.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think of old timey names. But yeah, so after she has an encounter with Redfern, the Warlock comes back and steals the book part.
Yeah.
But then he like just uses the aging spell on her, which if he didn't do that, she has no real impetus to go after him.
Yeah.
Like,
and puts her bracelet on too, so the spell continues. Then he goes off somewhere else and he starts talking to this kid who's like a bit obnoxious.
Yeah.
And the kid mentions he doesn't go to church. He said, "My dad doesn't believe in that stuff and all this." And he says, and doesn't the Warlock say something like, "I'm a witch, you know, not all witches are women and all this." He goes, "Could you fly with a broomstick?" He goes, "No, I need another thing to fly." And then he starts cackling. And the next thing we know, he's killed the kid, and we see him boiling up a pot of fat, and and the fat of an unbaptized boy child helps witches fly. How about that? That's a bit of lore.
Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Yeah. So, so he, and then they find he's been murdered. Old Redfern figures it out and manages to grab the mother of the boy in a very cursory scene, very functional scene. They say, was he baptized? No, his dad didn't believe in it. There's all this kind of stuff.
Yeah. It's a lot of like something horrible happens to someone in the sort of like area. Redfern runs up to them, asks them really weird questions, and they answer very pointedly. And it's not even like it's in a very expository way.
Yeah,
so, like he runs up, like Richard E. Grant's acting his socks off. It's like, was he baptized?
Oh yeah, it's full Scottish. We should have mentioned he's Scottish in this. Yeah. And he really
then the
goes
mother just goes like, no, his father didn't believe in it, and then they just go.
Yeah.
So.
And he does say something like, I offer my sympathies for your grief. He does all that business, but he also... I just like, there's some little touches in this film that actually are quite good. Like, he just does weird things because he doesn't know how he should act. For example, when Cassandra gets in the car, he tries to get in the same door with her. Yeah. And she says, no, you get in the other door. Things like that. Meanwhile, we see this Mennonite family, and the milk's gone sour, and
everything's basically gone wrong in the area.
And
the milk's gone sour. The harvest has gone bad.
Yeah, and the father of the family's like, I wonder what could be going on, but we see the grandpa like raise an eye, and then go paint something on the side of his house, which means we are cursed or bewitched or something. And Redfern sees this as they're driving along, and he immediately stops it. And I like the fact that the old guy immediately starts working with them. No talking about it, nothing. It's like, oh yeah, this guy's a witch hunter. Let's
To be fair, like I saw Richard E. Grant as Redfern running up the
you'd believe it.
Like, oh shit, this must be connected to the giant pentagram I've painted on my...
and there's all these signs of witches around, which comes back later, doesn't there? And he says, you know that... He says to his son, come on, this is ridiculous. And he goes to his son, you know the signs as well as I, and all this kind of thing. And immediately Redford goes, Amish! He goes, no, Mennonite. He goes, okay, and starts just talking. Meanwhile, they think he's in the barn, and he comes flying out.
Yeah, he comes flying out like posed like freaking Ultraman or something.
Yeah, it's really
like he's doing the Y from YMCA.
Yeah, the special effects do not do this film any. But
and Redford gets him with the whip. And gets dragged around for a little bit.
Yeah, but doesn't he also throw the spear at him?
No, he pulls the weather vane off. It's not a spear like he has. It's just a weather vane he rips off the building.
Yeah. And that's what he uses. And then he starts using that as the compass, doesn't he?
Because the compass gets broken.
That's right.
They had to use the spear with his blood on it, because they are able to get him briefly.
Yeah. So they manage to get him, and they try and bind him with those manacles. But then the Warlock looks at the farmer, the Mennonite, who is probably credited with Mennonite #1 or something like that. Just basically looks at him, and Redford says, "Do not look in his eyes." And then
it's just
blood
Mennonite.
starts coming out of his eyes, doesn't he? Oh yeah, there you go. And then. The Warlock kind of gets away.
After a brief bit where he dives back into the barn with the whip still attached, and they can see it just sort of hanging out of a window.
Yeah.
So they're is he going to stay there?
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out. And he comes flying out. And Redfern's wanting to help this bloke who's bleeding from the eyes, and he says to the girl, "You can get him with that. If you hammer nails into his footprints, you can stop him, or
you can cause him pain.
And she's going, "What? Can I have a shotgun?" This kind of stuff.
But she's able to kind of track him down. Oh, she's 60 at this point.
Oh yeah, she's aging rapidly.
They make it quite a good bit where she goes he's aged me about 20 years. And Redford looks over to her and goes, "Not aged, aging."
Yes. 20 years today, and she says, "Well, how can I get?" He goes, "If you do not start you will be dead within half the week or something like that.
Yeah.
No comfort at all. So, yeah, you're going to die. So she does actually find his footprints and start hammering nails in. He starts screaming, doesn't he?
So she uses it to sort of track him down and get her bracelet back.
Yeah, and then we have a totally unnecessary prolonged sequence where the Warlock's kind of, I don't know, one of the nails kind of is meant metaphorically, I guess. I don't know what you call it. Goes through his head, so he's kind of passes out, and his hand's hanging out of a train carriage with her bracelet on. She sees it, and she starts chasing him, but she's like doing old lady chasing. She's doing a sort of
scamper.
Yeah.
Instead of
and she's still got this hammer. And I actually thought, put down the hammer, love. If you're that weak, you need every benefit you can. And it was just a bit too prolonged, her running alongside the train. And she managed to get to it, but then the Warlock wakes up. But then she hits him with the hammer, so it's a good idea she kept it. But then he gets away and she thinks she's lost out, but then she sees her own bracelet wrapped around the hammer. The hammer accidentally pulled it off. So she goes back to perfectly normal. And then says, I'm out. And then the Warlock, the Redfern explains the situation.
Yeah, it's like if he finds all these things, he'll know the name of God, the true name of God. And if he says that backwards, it'll undo God and therefore all of creation, which is insanely high stakes.
Yeah, ridiculously high stakes.
Yeah.
And at one point, Cassandra goes, he's going to just destroy this world. And Redfern goes, all worlds.
Which has its own implications there.
Yeah. It's all, yeah, it says... And actually, Redfern does... Later on, Redfern does say that. You will destroy everything. And the Warlock's like, you don't believe that old wives' tale, do you? It's like, but what? What do you think's going to happen?
Does the Warlock not think it's going to happen?
I don't know what the Warlock thinks is going to happen. But he seems to laugh it off. There is also one bit when they're tackling the Warlock with the Mennonite. He tells her to put pennies in her mouth. So she's wondering how many pennies. So it looks weird. The whole thing's really weird. Okay.
And, they track down a priest who's willing to help them. Oh, there's a bit of shenanigans where they have to get on a plane.
I like the bit where he's holding the weather vane when he gets on this plane, and the woman's and the hostess says, "Can I take the attendant?" Says, "Can I take that for you, sir?" And he goes, "Over my rotting corpse," which made me laugh.
What's the name? Laurie Singer has to just be like. Yeah, it's a family heirloom.
Yeah, these fish are, it's crocodile, it's fish out of water stuff, right? That's what's going on. But then Redfern's on this plane obviously does not like flying, and then he sees a bloke sniffing his milk and his coffee. Then he looks at a bloke lighting a cigarette, and the flame's bright blue, and he says, "These are the signs of a witch." We should have mentioned she did actually see the witch at Warlock at the airport, but turned Redfern the other way so he wouldn't see it because she just wants to get away, I presume. It seems a stupid thing to do, but there you go. Anyway, they get there and they go to this church where the last bit of the grimoire should be or something.
Oh yeah, by the way, the second part of the grimoire was at the Mennonite's house.
Oh yeah, that's why he was there, right? That's why he was there, yeah. So the priest is like, can it, they said, we need to talk to you and all this. He goes, can it wait, till tomorrow? We open at 8 and all this. He goes, it's about the Grand Grimoire. And he's like, come in. And I thought he just knew stuff, but it was more like, I thought you were collectors. And, I'm not sure where it is and all this. Anyway, they figure out a puzzle and they know where it is. And
they do quite a neat bit where they're like, okay, so it's buried on holy ground. The Warlock can't get us.
Yes.
Then they're like, some of these graves have been moved. And we're not sure where the line of holy ground is anymore.
Yeah.
So they're now sort of stepping back and forth, like
that's right. Yeah, they go off, but the Warlock then turns up at the priest's house, and his wife's pregnant, and he sort
threatens her with a miscarriage.
Yes,
But not like it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to cause a miscarriage. It's like, if you want your children to be formed as slugs and
as dead slugs or something. So she's like, tell him.
Yeah.
And yeah, because he is well sketchy, this bloke. He really, really is. I was hoping we'd have a Jason meets Manhattan vibe where he'd run into a gang or something like that. That would have been great. But he doesn't.
Because there's like bits where he starts like breathing fire and can shoot fire from his hands. It's like,
on the airplane, doesn't he? He heats up something with this fire.
Yeah, he cooks himself something.
Is it porridge or is it the fat of the boy?
Maybe I'm not 100% sure.
It's grim. It was grim. Probably the fat of the kid because he flies out straight afterwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they get to the hallowed ground, and basically the Warlock threatens to kill Cassandra and mentions Redfern's wife, Marion, who he
kind of
killed.
skirting around actually mentioning.
Yeah.
It's implied he kind of Kurganed her, killed and assaulted her in various horrible ways.
Because he says, you and I both knew her and all this kind of stuff, doesn't he? There was a bit of the Highlander in this film, actually.
Yeah.
It does remind me, bits of it remind me of Highlander. Bad effects, stuff like that. Before he turns up though, they find the grave where the Grimoire's buried, and it's Redfern's own grave.
Yeah, he has a panic attack.
He can't look at himself,
and she keeps like being like, "Come on, have a look." It's like, no, stop it.
Yeah, and she slowly opens it, and there's his decayed corpse holding some pages of the Grimoire, right?
Yeah. And then the Warlock shows up and shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
So.
We also find out his first name's Giles, and he's like, she's trying to cover the name, he pulls it away, and he like walks off in shock, and she's saying, Giles isn't so bad. It's like, that is not
a lot of stupid things during this.
Yeah, she does. At one point, actually, early on, he punches her in the face, doesn't he? At one point,
yeah, I think it's like the first time they interact. He's like, "Where's the Warlock?" And she's like, "What the hell are you talking about?" So he punches her,
which seems to happen a lot to Laurie Singer in these films, doesn't it?
Yeah, she does seem to get clocked a lot.
Yeah. Anyway, So the Warlock grabs her and basically says he's going to kill her unless
he gets the last bit of the book. Because Redfern's been able to get back onto the holy ground. With the book. So.
Yeah. So Redfern basically says, "Yes, you can have it if it's a fair fight, no weapons, magic, or anything like that." And he agrees. So they don't get their magic out. Anyway, and he picks up and throws Cassandra into a river, essentially. And then
they have a brief scrap where the Warlock ends up using magic. So.
Yeah, and he basically fires fire into Redfern's mouth.
Yeah,
and Redfern doesn't throw holy. Consecrated ground soil into the Warlock's face. And meanwhile, it looks like he's trying to throw up fire. Which is very odd.
It's just neat.
Yeah.
But then the Warlock is able to assemble the book. And we get a brief bit where it looks like the god's name is going to be like Anita.
Yeah, Ashika or something. We see the name of God, basically.
Yeah.
But then it's established early on that Cassandra's diabetic, so she's carrying needles, right?
Yeah.
And she basically...
She's able to make some salt.
Because it's the sea.
Really
it's the sea. It's the estuary, I'm going to guess. So she basically fills a thing with that and injects him in the neck. And she says something like, "Try salt water, fucker."
Yeah, something really lame like that.
Yeah, and basically his throat expands and we get all these special effects. Not bad. Yeah. We got squibs going off on his body, and then he basically bursts into flame and floats up in the air, and then a burning skeleton comes crashing to the ground with like bits of body on it and stuff. And then Redfern stamps on the skull even as it's looking at him. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's done. And then it looks like they're about to kiss, where suddenly Redfern turns into a magic mini...
He disappears.
Dust devil and disappears into his own coffin. And
Presumably he went back in time, but...
Oh, yeah, he must have, because his corpse is there,
True,
right?
true,
So,
yeah.
he must have gone back. And then we see, quite cool scene, Cassandra just burying something in salt.
Well, she's burying the grimoire.
The grimoire, the grimoire in salt.
In the middle of the salt flats.
Salt flats, so no witch is ever getting to that, right?
Nah.
So that's kind of cool, which also was a shot and a finale that reminded me of Terminator.
Yeah. Like just a woman driving across the desert sort of thing.
Yeah, so this was kind of fun. It was kind of fun. I did like this. Apparently they wanted it to be more serious and basically about the witch hunter, the warlock experiencing, persecution and coming to the 20th century and getting persecuted in the same way. Yeah. But they decided to make it more of an action film. And they also insisted it was... Because basically it was set 10 years, 1691. Everyone was British. Everyone was pretty British around that area. So he said, no, Brits have got to play the lead characters. And they got Richard E. Grant, who was famous from Without an Eye. But apparently Julian Sands was going to be the witch hunter.
That's kind of
But because Richard E. Grant was so impressive at his audition, they switched it around. So how about that? I mean, it had a number of problems. The special effects were pretty low. But I did like the energy. And though the script was functioning in places, I kind of like the whole witch lore they kept injecting in. It was kind of interesting because we don't really see this stuff in other films. And they had all sorts of other plans for other special effects, the Warlock was doing, but they couldn't do any of it. They just didn't have the money or any of that. So, yeah, it was fun. I quite liked it. I'm glad I picked it, actually. I haven't seen...
Yeah, it's a pretty fun, goofy one. The
last time I saw this was probably early 90s. Really a long time ago. And I still remember quite distinctly bits of it. The bit with the barn and stuff I remembered. And the bit with the hand, the finger getting chopped off, I definitely remember. Because it was a moment, first time I saw it. I was so surprised.
It was a good practical effect, that one.
Yeah. And it just came out of nowhere. So it caught you off guard, didn't it? That was it. I think Julian Sands was pretty good as the Warlock, and I quite liked the fake period dialogue and the way they talked. So there was one bit that said, "Priest, what are you doing?" And Redfern, why do you want the book? And Redfern spills out like a really long, sentence about he's doing this and it's going to end the world and all this. And Cassandra just goes to the priest. You did ask. That made me laugh too. Yeah. Not bad. And the music was okay. Jerry Goldsmith was the score.
Yeah, Jerry Goldsmith does a lot of stuff though.
Oh, so. Yeah. It does. Yes. It was fun. I don't think I'm interested in the sequels.
Oh no! Nothing good can come from the sequels.
No, I would watch them if Richard E. Grant was in them. Though, if it was like the Adventures of Redfern, I'd probably watch them.
Yeah,
but I'm not really interested in the Warlock stuff. Yeah.
It's like, I guess the Warlock comes back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it just looks goofy.
Oh, apparently there was a video game based on this, released on SNES and Sega Genesis in 1995. So 6 years after it. And apparently they focused more on elements that were in the sequels than the original film. Because there's like druids and runes and shit in the sequels. Yeah. And apparently there was a bit of a
comic in 2009.
How about that? Yeah, I could see it. The Adventures of Redfern would be kind of interesting. All right, that probably is about it in terms of continued interest. But yeah, any last thoughts? And we'll score.
No, not really. I think I've said all there is to say about this film. There's not much to be said, really.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a lot. It was a nice rewatch.
It's a fun film. This is a very easy background. You just chuck it on. I could see someone watching this in the background of a movie sort of thing.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. What score would you give this?
I'd give this about 6 or 7.
Yeah, I'll give it a 7. It engaged me thoroughly throughout. I was not bored or thinking, come on, get on with it at any point. It moved at a brisk pace. I mean, some of the scenes were very functional, but I just like Richard E. Grant's energy. And actually, Laurie Singh is always kind of fun to watch as well. And Julian Sands was just a badass. Those three kind of made the film work better than it had any right to, really. But some of the shortcuts I really liked, like the Mennonite guy immediately accepting this guy's a witch hunter and going and helping him out. And others, it was like stopping a woman whose son's just died and asking her these questions, and she just answers in a function. Just seems so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. Right, so that kind of winds up that. But before we go, we've actually had some feedback. You might be interested to find out. And this is Alex, who has written in before. Now, Alex is actually used to live in our village. His family still live in the village. Yeah. And he has written in the past to sort of let us know it's all, how it's going and what he thinks of stuff. And we very rarely solicit feedback, do we, these days? We just don't even bother asking. But is it always in the show notes? There's an email in the show notes to send in feedback. So if anyone does want to send in email feedback or attach a voicemail, it's dead easy to record something on your phone, save it as an MP3 and send it in too. That'd be very welcome. Anyway, let's get into Alex's feedback. He says, "Hi, Mark and Sam. I hope you're both well. It's Alex. It's been a while since I've given some feedback, and I really wanted to, as I've especially enjoyed a lot of the recent pods. I really enjoyed the fact you've revisited some classic movies for your reviews. I even watched 300 after your review. Can't believe I've never seen it." There we go. "It's such a good film. Deserves its place in the whole." Yep. One set of films I'm surprised you've never reviewed is the Cornetto trilogy: Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and World's End. I thought we'd done some of them.
I think we'd done World's End, because I think we were putting podcasts out when that came out.
Yeah. And you know what? I wouldn't mind doing the Cornetto trilogy. We'll bear that in mind, Alex. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe as one show, right? Because I don't know about you, but I've seen all three at least twice, and Shaun of the Dead probably 5-6 times, and Hot Fuzz 3, 4. Yeah. I adore these movies, and I always thought they would be so up your street. I think they cover good, bad, and odd perfectly. I think there's no bad about them, really, though.
Yeah, everything's so well timed and precise.
Yeah. But yeah, it's certainly been. I'm pretty sure we put Shaun of the Dead in our Hall of Fame if and when we review it. Anyway, well, we'd love to hear your take on them if you ever get around to it. Keep up the brilliant work, lads. Cheers, Alex. Thank you, Alex. Very nice to hear from you. I'm glad you enjoy I'm glad we brought some 300 to someone, because it is an amazing film in many ways.
It's
endlessly quotable. Others. I mean, it must be one of the most quotable films of the last 20 years, I imagine.
Yeah, I imagine This Is Sparta is kind of... It had its own theme remix, which kind of did the rounds way back in the day.
Yeah. So, and again, thanks, Alex. That's great to hear from you. Okay, let's wind out there. So, bye from me.
Bye.